Hello, we're back up here in Codd's Bridge on the conning tower, USS Codd Submarine Memorial. We're going to talk about the fact that these boats were on the surface 98% of the time, and of course, being on the surface, you need to have watchstanders up here on the bridge. You need lookouts, and sometimes you had some guys up here if the waters were safe. They might come up here and have a cigarette, which is why the aft end of the conning tower, the gun platform, is often referred to as the cigarette deck. But with men up here for long periods of time, of course, they're going to have to answer nature's call. Now, with live antenna wires surrounding the conning tower and a stiff breeze that can be variable, you don't want to relieve yourself over the side. So the builders of the American fleet submarine put some convenience, comfort features up here on the bridge, and we're going to discuss one of those right here. And of course, it's this strange little metal funnel connected to a pipe. Now, that funnel and pipe runs down under the conning tower armor plate and empties out on our port side ballast tank just above the waves. Okay, there you go. You know, we're not going to go any further because, frankly, you're going to have to climb under the deck. Anyway, this, of course, is the urine relief tube. One of two as built into the Gato class electric boat design fleet subs. There was one up here, and for some strange reason I don't understand, there's one, or was one, up forward in the superstructure, basically on the port side, just forward of the escape trunk. Apparently, if men were working in there on some maintenance while you're on the surface, they were provided with a very similar tube that emptied down into the tanks. So, if you can imagine a lookout who, or maybe one of the deck officers, if he needed to answer nature's call, if he didn't have this convenience feature right here, the option was to go below, and if you're an officer, you got to go a third of the way forward to the officer's head. If you're an enlisted man, you're going to go roughly a third of the way length of the boat aft to the enlisted men's head. So it makes perfect sense to have this convenience feature right here for everybody to use. Now, when we got custody of the boat, all we had was the pipe. The funnel was missing, but thanks to the efforts of our World War II and Cold War era crew, they put their heads together and on a bar napkin very quickly came up with the exact specification and shape of the funnel. And one of our crew who had metal smithing capabilities made a brass funnel to specs and attached it to the pipe, and that was one of the more important restoration points here on Codd. Of course, it was tested, and the good news is it works. Gravity always works. There is no flush system. It's just basically gravity. But it's also an interesting piece of hidden history that we can't show everybody up here, as is the little bullet hole that some of you might have seen on an earlier presentation. So hopefully you found that somewhat interesting and perhaps even found it to be a relief. I know I have. So remember, hit the like button, hit the subscribe and notification buttons, and we'll be back with more. And thank you very much for joining us aboard USS Codd Submarine Memorial.